But I want to say that old school is better than new school. Academically, we have people who, in those days, with little assistance, they make very good grades in secondary school, HSC, and universities.
Hi, I am the School Hunter. My name is Shola Okpodu. Welcome to today's episode of School Hunters, and today we're looking at the things you need to know if you're planning to enroll in a new school. Now, there are certain things that you need to know. The most important decision you will make as a parent, apart from deciding to have your child in the school in the first place, is deciding which school for them to enroll in. You need to make the right decision, and you could put them on a path towards lifelong learning, a prestigious college education, and a successful career. If you choose wrongly, well, you know.
What we look out in our school is the upkeep of our kids, the good environment where they play. At least when we come, we know our kids are well kept. Where their playing ground is clean. Then they have water system. The teachers are nice to them, like a mother, because they spend almost all their time in the school.
Actually, I bring my child to a school that has a good learning structure, good and qualified teachers. That's what I look out for before taking my child to learning school. I make inquiries about the learning structure and the experience of the staff as the teachers.
Every now and then, we're faced with some simple questions. How do we get the best home tutors, best teachers, and best schools for our children? School Hunters can give you that answer when you visit our website www.schoolhunters.com.ng. Register as a member today and gain access to qualified teachers or home tutors to assist you with your educational needs, irrespective of the field or subject, and at your convenience. Qualified teachers who wish to connect to prospective clients can also go to the website www.schoolhunters.com.ng and register as tutors. At School Hunters, we also provide other educational support services like general printing of school materials, organized exhibitions and capacity building workshops, video coverage for your events, as well as enrollments and placement services for students. So do visit us on our website www.schoolhunters.com.ng. School Hunters, everything school.
Now, what are the questions you should ask when you're evaluating a school? Now, whether your child is starting pre-nursery or switching schools in the middle of 4th grade, for instance, you need to ask questions like, do they offer mathematics in all grades, and how important, do they value, extracurricular activities? Now, for instance, in preschool, the relationship between teacher and student is key. The connection between the child and the teacher is more important than even the curriculum. Now, let's think about it this way. You've got a 3 or 4-year-old child, that is accustomed to being surrounded by loving people, by their parents and siblings 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. And school is their first time spending, in a large portion of their day away from those people. Now, you want to look for a preschool teacher who is very engaging, who has a good conversation with the students, a teacher with a perspective, good nature, someone who's very conversant with the students' abilities. Now, they should be able to speak about the individual students' strengths and weaknesses and be well informed of their background, their interest, emotional and academic achievements. You also want a teacher who takes great pride in his or her students' progress and is consistently open to their improvement.
What's this? Baby, what are these? Keys. How about this one? Computer.
You say boat? Boat. Tell him to say a word, and he lately has just been making every effort to say something.
He is excited about coming to school. He likes working at the table with us. He has made such great progress.
An ideal school, we'll say, is a school that has quality standards. And quality standards varies with countries. And for Nigeria, we have our quality standards. We have our policy on quality assurance, which gives us the standards we are supposed to meet in our schools. And it covers infrastructure, teaching and learning, leadership, and a host of other areas. All that has to do with making sure that the quality of the school is appropriate for the Nigerian society.
Now, the early years, words, words, words. Your child should be surrounded with words, especially in the early years. You want to look for books in the classroom and be sure the class makes regular visits to the library. You also want to ensure the teacher sets aside lots of time for reading instruction and storytelling. Now, in preschool and kindergarten years, be sure the teacher is providing the building blocks for learning, especially learning to read. They should focus on syllables. Let's take an example. B makes the sound ba, b, and make examples like the boy had a big blue ball. Examples like that should be shared amongst the kids. Now, mathematics, very important. Maths cannot be an afterthought from the first days of school. Your child should be exposed to math concepts. When your child is preschool age, what you need to know is this. There is no need to wait until children are older and are able to think and speak in more abstract ways to introduce math concepts. A certain kind of math ability seems to be innate in all of us and has been measured days even after birth, which means in your child's preschool class, you should hear teachers discussing basic math concepts with, their pupils. Things like greater than, less than, bigger, smaller, and reinforcing the number concept. For instance, how much is 3? As a parent, you can follow up on these things at home by doing something as simple as even counting grains in the morning. If you don't like mathematics as a parent, please don't tell your kids, because parents who pass an anti-math sentiment onto their kids hurt their chances of success.
Choosing a day nursery for your child, or a childminder or a preschool, is one of the most difficult decisions that parents face in a child's early years. The first thing that I would advise is that once you have found out what nurseries are local to either where you work or where you live, take your child with you if you want. That is often good to get an overall opinion of what the child thinks of it as well. First impressions count. So when you go in the nursery, is it bright? Is it cheery? Is it well maintained? The manager should show you around. Take care to look at how the children and the staff are interacting with each other. Do the children look content and happy? Are they settled and keen to interact with the staff? Are they enjoying what they're doing? Lots of laughter, lots of happy smiles. Look around the nursery and see if it fits in with kind of how you feel. Does it feel comfortable and homely? Or does it feel a bit bare and stark? Take time to watch the children interacting with the staff and watch what the children are doing. Does your own child want to go off and play, or are they standing beside you? If they're standing beside you, try and encourage your child. Take your child over to one of the activities and sit down with your child and try and engage them with the activity. Does the member of staff nearby talk to your child or yourself? Do you feel that they want to interact with your child? Ask to see a menu. Is the food home cooked, and is it prepared on site? Are the children offered fresh fruit and healthy foods for snack time? Is the cook qualified? All these things you need to find out. It's also good to ask about the healthy eating policy and how they would cope with any dietary requirements or allergies. Do they have a system whereby all the staff know what your child's allergies or dietary requirements are? Another thing that a lot of parents want to know is that their children are getting daily fresh exercise. Now, some nurseries have a policy. Some nurseries seem to find taking the children outside in the poorer weather bad. So do they want you to provide waterproofs and Wellington boots and maybe umbrellas, which will indicate that your child will get regular access to fresh air every day? How does the setting ensure that your child meets their learning and development requirements, and how do they ensure that the child is able to progress to the next steps? Do they do observations? Do they keep learning journals which they regularly update with your child's achievements and developmental milestones? Ask how the activities are organised. Do they take their cues from the children, following the children's interests on a daily basis, or are the activities pre-planned and provided for the children daily? Ask to see the settings policies, in particular the safeguarding policy, to ensure that your child will be fully protected whilst at the nursery. Are the staff all vetted and cleared, ready to work with children? Most nurseries should make provision for parents outside working hours. So ask how they get you involved. Do they have parent evenings? Are there regular updates about your child's progress? Is there a newsletter maybe that you can read what's been going on? And is there time for you to spend time in the nursery with your child? For example, Mother's Day, Father's Days, even Grandparents' Days. Do they encourage you to come into the nursery? At the end of the day, choosing a daycare setting for any child is of vital importance. Once you've read the Ofsted report, you visited the setting and you've spoken to the staff and the managers. Sum it all up. Does it feel comfortable to you? Does your child seem happy there? And would you be happy leaving your child there for a full day or for a session? Ask about the settling in sessions. Maybe ask if there's a trial session so that you can take your child in and spend a morning with your child just to get used to it and just to see how it feels. Listen to your instincts, and if it feels right and your child seems happy, then maybe make further arrangements to settle your child in.
Let's celebrate your best teacher or proprietor on School Hunters. If your teacher or proprietor has an exemplary character, send the following details: name of the teacher, why you have nominated this teacher, the teacher's telephone number, name of the school where the teacher teaches, and the passport picture of your nominee. Send details to awards@schoolhunters.com.ng. For more information, visit www.schoolhunters.com.ng/blog. In some schools, parents, kids, and even teachers may describe a person as bad at maths. Maths is not a talent like having a good singing voice. It's a muscle you develop. So be on the lookout for a teacher who expresses a great deal of enthusiasm about mathematics. You do not want a teacher who is scared of mathematics, isn't it? Now, don't focus too much on standardized test scores. Sometimes good test scores can be an indication that a school is doing perfectly well. It could be an indication that a school is doing very good at educating the students. But other times, it can be an indication that the school is teaching to the test. Now, standardized tests only measure about a third of the curriculum that should be taught in the school. Now, with the test answers embedded throughout. Another thing you need to note is teachers matter a lot. Teachers matter even more than you think. Excellent teachers not only teach more, but they can even accelerate the rate of learning among their students and pupils. And good schools champion great teachers. They grow them. So make sure you look for schools that provide teachers with mentors, instruction, and discussion of best practices. Find a school where the teachers are not being treated as interchangeable cogs. For example, if you show up and the fourth grade teacher is now teaching kindergarten, that's not a good sign. You need to ask some certain questions. How has that teacher been prepared for that class? What kind of additional training did they receive over the holiday or over summer? Additionally, I recommend that during school tours, because you need to visit the school to, have a feel of what the school looks like and the facilities that they have to offer. You need to ask questions such as, how do administrators evaluate the teachers? And how often are classroom lessons observed? Don't be afraid to ask teachers where they completed their undergraduate studies and what they studied. It's not snobbery, it's your right. Teachers who graduate from more selective colleges, either public and private, get better results out of kids. Now, another thing you need to know is it's not all in the name. It's not all in the name of a school. There is no designation that guarantees quality. Just the word private does not mean the school is a success. In fact, about 1 in 5 private schools perform better than the schools they replace. So there is no uniformly great private school and no uniformly great public school. There is no easy name that you can gravitate towards that will allow you to judge. So do your homework properly. Now, the public school down the road could be just as good as the private school that costs millions a year. Now, what do you need to know when you're choosing a school? There's a checklist. Choosing the right school for your child or teen, or even yourself, is important, as it can have a big impact on your happiness and well-being, as well as, you know, and how well you do at school. Now, here I suggest some processes you could walk through with your child, with yourself, with your teen, to help make the right decision. First of all, list schools to consider. Make a list of schools near your home and any others you might want to consider. A good place to start is to visit www.schoolhunters.com.ng. It's a search tool for schools. So when planning a school, which schools to consider, here are some practical things to think about and discuss with your child or even with yourself. Number 1, is the school accredited? What schools are your kids' friends going to, for instance? Where do you think you'll be comfortable going to? Are there any schools family or friends have recommended? How will your child or your teen or even yourself get to the school and from the school? Is there a safe route to walk or to cycle or, you know, or to drive? Or is someone available to pick them up? That's if they're your kids. Or will they be catching a school bus? Will your child be able to meet up with friends after school? Now, if your child is under 14, for instance, will they need to be supervised before and or after school? Does the school have a uniform? I know that there's some schools in Nigeria that don't have uniforms. I think it's a new trend, but it depends on your taste, what you want. So what are the costs to attend the school? It's very important. You need to work within your budget. Now, if you need help to identify schools in your area or a particular type of school, you can contact School Hunters on 080-908-21720.
Every now and then, we're faced with some simple questions. How do we get the best home tutors, best teachers, and best schools for our children? School Hunters can give you that answer when you visit our website, www.schoolhunters.com.ng. Register as a member today and gain access to qualified teachers or home tutors to assist you with your educational needs, irrespective of the field or subject, and at your convenience. Qualified teachers who wish to connect to prospective clients can also go to the website www.schoolhunters.com.ng and register as tutors. At School Hunters, we also provide other educational support services like general printing of school materials, organized exhibitions and capacity building workshops, video coverage for your events, as well as enrollments and placement services for students. So do visit us on our website www.schoolhunters.com.ng. School Hunters, everything school.
Now, list your education priorities. Your priorities may vary depending on your child or even yourself, your talent and your needs. What are you prepared to compromise on? What are your must-haves? Now, here are some examples of priorities that you might see as important. Number 1, a strong emphasis on a particular curriculum area of interest to you or to your child. For instance, it could be music or sports, you know, whatever it is. It could be home economics, cooking, swimming, taekwondo, whatever it is. Now, additional support for special needs or talents. For example, your child or your teen excels at mathematics or is learning English as a second or additional language. Now, thirdly, a bilingual unit such as French or Mandarin language, particular subjects offered at senior level which support your child's career or academic aspirations. Make a short list based on your priorities. Narrow down your options to 1 or 2 schools. Then, to finalize your choice, talk to other families whose children go to those schools. Request each school's enrollment information, for instance, their enrollment package, information booklet, the prospectus, and check out their websites, of course. Take time to check out their websites. Visit each school with your child, or if you're the one who's planning to enroll in the school, go to the school and see what facilities they have to offer. You could make an appointment to talk to the principal or take a walk around, the grounds during the weekend. You'll get a feel of the school and see what facilities are available. Make sure you attend the school's open days or information evenings if they have one. Check the accreditation status of the school, as I said earlier, and taking the time to choose the right school together with your child will benefit your child, yourself on a long-term basis, both for their education and general well-being.
Depending on whether the parent want the child to be in boarding school or a day school, distance is important, and then the environment that the school is located. There are some schools that are located, in Abuja, for instance, where the law is in place. Yes, no hotel, for instance, is allowed, or a school and a hotel to share, boundary. But there are some communities where you see a hotel besides a school. So a child can be easily lured into a hotel. Schools like that, parents should beware.
And for a parent looking for a school for the child, secondary, primary, crèche, whichever, the parent has to take time to understudy the school. Don't just see the structure and go. You meet the management team, you check the classes, you go when the school is in session and find out how the school is being managed, how the teachers teach, how the students react, the comportment of the students too. There are some schools you go to, you'll be disappointed. Is it this school that I've heard so much about? Go uninvited, take them unawares, and get to know the school you are taking your child to.
Now, school moves, that's another thing that is very important. There are times when we all plan to change schools. So school moves can represent a stressful experience for the majority of children. However, for children with disabilities, a change of school can be particularly unsettling for many reasons. We can find situations stressful or distressing when there is a change in our environment that increases our lack of predictability or lack of control. Now, for children with disabilities, structure is an integral part of their ability to adapt to their surroundings. Structure provides a consistent framework, set of limits, expectations, and procedures that are familiar and predictable. When the structure is clear, consistent and well-defined, the child is able to handle age-appropriate tasks more successfully. Now, easing school adjustment problems, if a change of school is important or is necessary, either due to relocation or moving from one school level to another, children should be made aware of the move in advance so that they can prepare for it. If at all possible, especially if moving any distance, it would be helpful to find the school's website and introduce the child to pictures of the new school so as to ease the fear of the unknown. If possible, a visit to the new school can also be a positive way to ease the stress of adjusting to a new location. As for special education services, make sure that you talk to educators in the new location to become familiar with how they process their cases for special education placement. Even though a child may currently be placed in special education, the same criteria may not be used by a different state or school district. So your child may have to undergo further assessment in order to see whether he or she meets the criteria for placement in the new location. At the new school, in their efforts to help your child succeed, make sure that copies of all reports and assessment results are sent to the new school. So if your child is looking to change their school, make sure that report sheets and assessment results are sent to the new school in advance.
Do you own a good school? Or is it a school bookshop? Are you planning a school event? Do you offer educational products and services? And do you want the world to know? Then you can advertise on School Hunters with Shola Okpodu to be seen and heard. You can also advertise on our website www.schoolhunters.com.ng for that added visibility. Terms and conditions apply. For further information, call 0809 082 1720 or email us at enquiry@schoolhunters.com.ng. School Hunters, everything school.
If you're the one that is planning to move schools or change schools, well, don't look any further. Go on www.schoolhunters.com.ng, or if you need counselors to talk to you, you can call 080-908-21720. I am Shola, the School Hunter.